Alexander says, I watch a video of Jeffrey Schwartz, you have recommended me, before Neuroscience of Habits. He says self-positive affirmation can change bad habits in brain. Yes, that's true. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. I used to watch his lectures quite a bit. And that was the beginning, actually, of my research. And then, of course, whatever else I could find. Alexander says, can you explain, please, how to handle bad or fearful emotions, how to deal with them? Well, fearful emotions, we're talking about the key word there, fear. In order to deal with that, you got to understand, where does fear come from? And I have videos on what is fear, where does it come from? And really, if we focus, all of us, on this topic, there is really no fear. There is no such thing as fear. However, that feeling and emotion of being frightened and fear, other than wild animal attacking you, or a truck is about to hit, or you're in a war and it's a shooting match, and that fear, I'm not talking about that fear. We're talking about psychological fear. Such fear is really created when you compare times, when you compare what it was in your memory to what it is and what it could be. You create time. When you think about an orange tree in my uncle's house, had big yellow oranges, and this tree here, you just created time. But when you think about the orange tree in my uncle's house was hit by locusts or some kind of a fungus of whatever, and the whole orchard or the whole trees were all destroyed, and the trees died, and then you compare to, what if that happens to the tree that I have in my home? So you compared what it was to what it is and what it could be. That has happened to what Uncle's orange trees were. It was devastating. The whole town was devastated. All the fruit trees died. And I have fruit trees and orchard here. What if that happens to this, and then where it's going to be? Now you created fear. But otherwise, if you live in the moment, in the present moment, and don't allow yourself to travel back into the past, into the memory, in other words, travel back to the dead zone, because memory is the past, past is dead, doesn't exist. So you go into the dead zone, and something that happened there, you projected that, what if it happens here and what it will be? Now you created fear. But if you don't go to the past and you're just in the moment and you look at the tree and you enjoy how wonderful the oranges are, and if you stay with the moment, in the very moment, there is no fear. If you don't compare what it was to what it is to what it could be, at the moment, unless there is a war happening, or unless a truck is about to hit me, or a wild animal to jump at me, there is no physical fear, or there is no fearful happening. So when you focus on that emotional fear, which I don't know exactly what it is because you didn't explain it, you figure out, why am I actually having that emotion? Because nothing has happened here, but I'm afraid that something might happen. That's where the fear is. Because we're all seeking security, psychological security. And when there is a doubtful imagination about, what if this that is tranquil and wonderful now, which I love so much, and with whatever you love, there is a fear of losing it. So at that moment that you're really enjoying your moment, you also suddenly are fearful of losing it. That's the beginning of the fear. And when you compare it to something that happened in the past, in one of those romantic or emotional situations, then you think, what if it happens to this romantic emotional situation that I have right here? And you get fearful. Otherwise, this present example by itself hasn't shown any malice, hasn't shown any reason for you to be fearful, but you always compare to how the others turned out to be, the other situations. And what if this, that you're impatiently waiting, I don't know, for the girl to call you or whatever it is that you're talking about, some emotional, and if it's not happening, she hasn't called yet, you project out what happened in the previous relationships to this one, and you start getting fearful, emotionally fearful, if that's what you mean. So once you stay in the moment, the present on that particular situation and let it unfold by itself rather than attributing the past experiences to what this is or happening, or try to translate the happening for yourself based on some other information you have in your memory, then that's where the fear, emotional fear happens. So the best thing to do is stay in the moment, let's see how things unfold, and you make judgment on that basis once they happen. Okay, I hope that helps you out a bit. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.